the general principles on which our work on conciliation is based, and here I could probably say the same thing about our rules on conciliation and our model law, are first of all the voluntary nature of conciliation. We are, of course, well aware of the reality of court-annexed mediation. Our instruments have extensively been used in that context, but the instruments themselves are intended essentially for the basic situation where the parties decide in full autonomy to have resort to conciliation. Another guiding principle, which of course may seem to go without saying, but has to be clearly expressed in any legal standard, is the independence and the active role of the conciliator. Independence, I don't think I need to explain in any way. That is a strong element in making conciliation more acceptable and more familiar in areas where it is not so widely practiced. The active role, of course, is the whole question of mediation versus conciliation. We have a general set of rules, in particular Articles 5 to 7 of the model law, that organize the possibility for the conciliator to actively seek a solution that will satisfy both parties. Another guiding principle is the strict separation between conciliation and adversarial proceedings, be they arbitration or court proceedings. We have a number of strict provisions to indicate that whoever acts as mediator or conciliator will not, here again subject to party autonomy, will not act as arbitrator, and that the information provided in the context of mediation proceedings will not be used in subsequent adversarial proceedings. With these guiding principles, you see that we may be proposing the smallest common denominator. We know our model law and our model rules are likely to require further improvement and refinements in the future, and we hope that such events may help us distinguish which way to go in that area. Before closing my remarks, just a quick word on our most recent piece of work, the enforcement of mediated settlement agreements. This started 2 years ago with a proposal by the United States of America to embark on the preparation of a convention that would provide for a unique regime to effectively enforce the results of conciliation proceedings. We had last week in New York the first session of our working group, again, intergovernmental working group, composed of the 60 member states, plus, as is a tradition at UNCITRAL, all interested and relevant non-governmental organizations, including, for example, the American Bar Association and others. I don't think the Association of Indian Mediators is yet an observer at UNCITRAL, but maybe that will change. We had our first session, and of course, as you would expect, views widely differed as to the feasibility of the whole exercise. That we were actually brought back a few years ago when we were negotiating the Article 14 of the model law on enforcement. And we had come to the conclusion that the diversity of laws and legal techniques available in the world to obtain enforcement of mediated settlements were such that it would be difficult to agree on a harmonized standard. Others, of course, indicated that, well, yes, despite this diversity, there is a common intent and it may be possible to provide a harmonized regime for such enforcement. A middle ground may be to provide, of course, information and collect best practices in that process, and circulate the information so that at least clear indication as to how the parties should approach that issue is given by the United Nations. I think after a first week of that intergovernmental working group session, we are mildly optimistic that something useful can come out of that process. It remains to be seen exactly what. And here again, I would possibly conclude with a word on our regional presence and the importance of the work conducted in this region. When we established our regional presence in the Asia and the Pacific, we, of course, were trying not only to promote our texts, but also to provide relevant platforms to allow the region to further participate in global discussions on international trade law. Now, this summit serves that purpose and constitutes a milestone, not only for the promotion of our texts, but perhaps also it will assist us in further collecting information about regional practices. We have been working with the City University of Hong Kong, and in particular Professor Shaba, to survey and research the levels of implementation of the model law in the region, including, of course, Article 14 on enforcement. This comparative law report and also the discussions during this summit are something to look forward to as a regional contribution to the ongoing discussions in Working Group 2 of UNCITRAL. We will follow closely and with anticipation the coming legislative changes on arbitration in India. We held the first UNCITRAL South Asia seminar last September in Sri Lanka, focusing on electronic commerce law and secure transactions, with a lively participation from India, Nepal, Maldives, and Sri Lanka itself. And we will host next week the UNCITRAL India workshop here in Delhi, focusing on the relevance of UNCITRAL arbitration texts for the construction industry. Be it in the conciliation and mediation sphere, or in dispute resolution, or in other areas worked on by UNCITRAL, South Asia is undoubtedly becoming a vibrant venue for international trade law debates, and we look forward to more active contribution from the region in our debates. Thank you very much.